I believe that every organization or business needs an enterprise architecture in place, whether it's a small business or a medium enterprise or a large corporate. So, what is the starting point for preparing the enterprise architecture of an organization? It's basically the business architecture. And for the business architecture, we have the business capability mapping as the starting point. This is a second tutorial in the series of tutorials on enterprise architecture. The first one covered EA as a whole and many aspects of it. I'm providing the link above so that you can take a look at it. So we start with business capability mapping in this tutorial. Moving on to the BCM, let's have the quiz on the previous tutorial on EA. I had mentioned about two methodologies and frameworks. One was the TOGAF. What was the other? Was it Federal EA framework? Was it the Zachman framework? Or was it the Gartner's EA method? Business capabilities are the ability of an organization to achieve certain specific outcomes or objectives. Now, these objectives and outcomes are usually stated in the strategic objectives, the mission and vision statements, the goal statements of the organization. And this involves people, process, and technology to achieve or perform certain tasks. Business capability mapping is a very useful tool for documenting the relationship between the business's core functions along with the technology part. Business capabilities can be identified and mapped in three major ways. One is to look at the organization's strategic goals, the strategies, and that will have the essential capabilities that are needed to achieve the goals. Secondly, is to basically have a questionnaire, interview the key stakeholders in the organization who can provide valuable insights into the processes. And third is to look at the organization's processes in detail and find out the capabilities from them. Now take a quick look at the development of a business capability mapping. First, we have the high level strategies and the goals. So these are coming from the strategy documents, the goal statements, and the vision and mission statements of the organization. These are supported by the business capabilities at a very high level. After this comes the business processes. So we drill down the capabilities and we look at the individual processes. Then we have the application systems which are actually supporting the business processes to be executed. Then we have the business information, the data part. And finally, we have the resources who are actually supporting the entire process. This BCM depicts what a business does to reach its strategic objectives rather than how it does. That is the business processes. So, business capabilities are the connection between the business strategy and the business execution. How the business capabilities can bridge the gap between the strategic objectives and the business process. And we can see the one to many or many to one relationship between each of the components. Now take a look at a real life business capability mapping at an enterprise level. So at the top, we have the main lines of business at that strategic level. So we have strategy and governance, customer relationship, products and services, and so on and so forth. Underneath this, we can map the business capabilities at a very high level, which are actually supporting the business capability at the top level. So we have strategic management, organization development, core business management, strategic business initiatives, mergers and acquisitions, and partnership management to support strategy and governance. Similarly, for customer relationship, we have customer acquisition, contact management, segmentation, customer relationship management, customer retention, and SLA management. For products and service, we have product engineering, quality management, product service, and delivery. So in this way, we have the various sub capabilities supporting the main capability at the highest level. It doesn't end here. We have to actually drill down the business capability mapping to the process level. So let's take an example, customer origination, and we have customer onboarding. Now to support customer onboarding, we have these components which supports the customer onboarding. For example, we start from marketing, so campaign management, point of contact, information gathering, documentation, document validation, due diligence, gift setup, and initial communication. And underneath these, we have the processes which support the business capability. So we have contact center and self-service channels to support the point of contact. We have KYC checks and AML checks to do the due diligence. So this is how the entire business capability mapping has its entire range. As mentioned in my first tutorial on enterprise architecture, I mentioned that I will take banking as an example, and here I have shown an BCM based on the banking industry, but this is applicable for all organizations and all sectors. Also, it must be mentioned that each component in the BCM is given a code, and this code is carried forward when we go into the technical architecture, the application architecture to maintain traceability. Enterprise architects and business architects basically assess the capabilities, how much they're fulfilling the strategic objectives by utilizing the resources available, the technology, and other aspects. So we now have the foundation block in the form of the business capability mapping for the business architecture. And then we move on to the application architecture and so on and so forth. So let us discuss the business architecture in the next video. If you find this video helpful and informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next videos very soon.